Hey, what's up, Chiefs fans? Harrison Graham here from Chat Sports with another edition of NFL Daily. Rumors are surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs as the NFL Draft sits just 2 days away, and there's no bigger rumor going on right now in the NFL than the possible trade for Seahawks defensive end Frank Clark. Seahawks are looking to move Clark potentially, and they want a first-round pick in return. We all know they just gave Russell Wilson a mega deal. Like I said, they want that first-round pick in return. They can't pay everybody. Frank Clark could be a casualty for the Seahawks. We all know about the Chiefs. Got rid of Justin Houston, got rid of Dee Ford. They need edge help. Frank Clark could actually be a better fit in defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo's scheme in that 4-3 scheme. Bigger body, 6'3", about 265 pounds. I think Clark is an interesting fit for the Chiefs and would be an upgrade. Obviously, there's the factor of they would have to pay Clark. He's currently under the franchise tag. That would have to be settled during a possible trade. But you look at what this guy has done since he's entered the league. Obviously, his rookie year didn't get a ton of playing time with that Seattle defense. Last 3 years, though, over 30 sacks. Consistency is the name of the game for Frank Clark. You look at last year, 13 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. Very productive guy coming off the edge. You plug him into this defense, you look at what the Chiefs have on their defensive line. They traded for Ogba. They signed Alex Okafor in the offseason. You slide Jones inside in the 4-3 scheme. You plug in Frank Clark on the edge and make Okafor more of a rotation piece. I think Breeland Speaks is poised to have a breakout year or two. All of a sudden, you got 4 guys there coming off the edge that you're pretty comfortable with, and it's something that, come draft time, maybe you don't have to address the edge position. Unfortunately for Frank Clark and for the Chiefs, it's not all about what he's done off the field. He's had several off-the-field issues dating back to college. A couple of incidents in college. 2012, charged with felony burglary. In 2014, arrested for domestic violence, pled down to a disorderly conduct, but the police officers on that case both have come out and said that there was a lot more to it than that. You look back a couple of years ago at training camp, punched one of his teammates, Jermaine Ifedi, and he had a lot of recovery time there. This checkered background with Frank Clark is kind of a problem for the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill is dealing with this current situation. They had to get rid of Kareem Hunt last year. It's kind of a tough sell for Kansas City to the fan base if you bring in a guy like Frank Clark. Here's my proposed trade, though, if they decide to do it. Very simple. You trade your first-round pick, 29th overall. You get Frank Clark, one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. Young guy, 25, 26 years old. I think that's a fair trade for both sides. You add all of this up, the off-the-field issues, the on-field production, what the Chiefs need. Should Kansas City trade for Frank Clark, type Y for yes, type N for no? I think it's a tough sell, to be honest with you. So I would lean no. I do think there's a good chance for it happening, though. Too many off-the-field incidents, a tough 12 months with domestic violence stuff surrounding the Chiefs the last year or so. I would have to lean no, but I want to ask you guys again, you can comment in the comments section. If you don't want to go that route, how about Montez Sweat in the draft? Could he slide to 29 for the Kansas City Chiefs? Reports are coming out, Matt Miller specifically from Bleacher Report, saying he could fall all the way out of the first round. Teams are scared of the heart condition. Some teams have completely taken him off their board, and recently Sweat actually backed out of attending the NFL Draft in Nashville altogether. What does that mean? I'm not sure. Maybe he just wants to hang out with family at home. Maybe he's worried he's going to slide on draft day and doesn't want to be in that situation. There's always one of those guys at the draft that's just sitting in the green room and doesn't get their name called. So Montez Sweat could be an option at 29. You look at his last season at Mississippi State, very productive. Not just a pass rush guy. You look at the 53 tackles, the tackles for loss, obviously double-digit sacks, had a forced fumble there, was kind of part of that dominant defensive line for Mississippi State that also had Jeffrey Simmons, of course. I think Sweat, if you don't want to go Frank Clark, the thing about Sweat, though, is it's out of your hands. Whereas Frank Clark, you could just trade for him. Montez Sweat, though, maybe he falls you at 29. Maybe it's sitting 22, 23. Chiefs trade up for him. Certainly could be an option for the Chiefs as well. This show brought to you by BetDSI, the #1 online sportsbook. Promo code LIVE120, you get that 120% bonus. You put down $100, you get $120 for free. Lots of NFL prop bets going on right now, NBA playoffs going on that you can bet on, NHL playoffs. It's all there at BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. Moving along here on Chiefs rumors, 2 days ahead of the NFL draft, is the Honey Badger getting greedy? Tyrann Mathieu over the weekend tweeted out that he hopes his fellow LSU Tiger Greedy Williams falls to the Kansas City Chiefs in the draft. Did also throw in there he wants Greedy to make as much money as possible, but if he's sitting there at 29, would like to see him in Kansas City. I wouldn't mind it either. Look, in a couple of recent videos, I've had DeAndre Baker being an option at 29. Greedy Williams, though, he's a great option as well. Has that size-speed combo to play corner in the NFL. You probably would have to trade up for him, though. I'm not sure he'd be there at 29. You look at what this depth chart looks like for the Chiefs. Charvarius Ward, Bashaud Breeland. You bring in Breeland in free agency. Obviously, Fuller, really good nickel corner there. Obviously, Mathieu at safety. They could use another safety as well. Chiefs certainly could use an upgrade at cornerback. I think Breeland's a nice plug-and-play number 2 corner. Don't have a true number 1 corner on this roster, and I think Greedy Williams has the chance to be that. Hell, he's our top corner entering this draft here at Chat Sports as you look at our top 5 guys. I've mentioned Baker several times, Byron Murphy, another option there, Trayvon Mullen and Rocky Sin, but Greedy Williams is our top corner in this year's draft. So I'll ask you guys, we've talked about edge, talked about corner. That's kind of been a theme the last couple of weeks here on Chiefs Rumors. Should Kansas City draft a cornerback or an edge rusher in round 1? Or what should they target? Type E for edge, C for cornerback. I think it kind of depends on how the draft falls. I've slightly led corner throughout this process, but I could go either way. Kind of best player available out of those 2 positions is likely going to be your pick at 29, unless could the Chiefs address the center position in round 1? We've mentioned it before. Mocks throughout this process have had the Chiefs selecting Garrett Bradbury, the center out of NC State. Another one this week, NFL.com's recent mock had Bradbury at 29. Of course, Kansas City lost Mitch Morse in free agency last year. He's out the door. The Chiefs, to me, though, you look at this. Look, I wouldn't hate the pick. If he's truly the best player on the board, take him. I'm all for that. I think that's always a good strategy. Take the best player on your board unless it's quarterback and you don't need a quarterback. I just think Kansas City has bigger needs. I've mentioned it before. Corner and edge are the clear top 2 needs for this team. Safety, they could use someone next to Tyrann Mathieu as well. I got center there at 4th. And then running back / wide receiver at 5. I think a lot of that depends on what happens with Tyreek Hill. But we will see, obviously, on that. I think the Chiefs could obviously use the running back on day 3 as well. Don't forget, we're just 2 days away, 2 days from our full NFL draft coverage. We'll have live coverage Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday afternoon. All 7 rounds, all 254 picks right here, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Tom and Mitch will be breaking it down. A couple of us might get into the mix as well, but we will have you covered all 3 days of the NFL draft. Let's keep things going here. What is the latest with Tyreek Hill? Well, over the weekend, it was reported that him and his fiance lost custody of their 3-year-old son, at least temporarily, as the ongoing child battery case is still under investigation. We've talked about it multiple times. Under investigation for child abuse claims. Their son has a broken arm. Authorities trying to figure out what's going on there. Andy Reid at the offseason workouts last week said, look, there's nothing new to comment on. When there is, I will certainly comment on that. I wanted to have a little fun here, though, because that stuff is not fun, but wide receivers in this draft are fun. Who could be some possible Tyreek Hill replacements if Kansas City feels like they need to replace the Cheetah? Couple of round 1 options. Marquise Brown. He's my favorite wide receiver in this draft. I watched him a lot at Oklahoma. He's a burner. He's probably the closest player to Tyreek Hill in this draft. I think he might be an option at 29. You would maybe have to move up for him. I got DK Metcalf there as well. I think he's going to go higher. I'm not as high on him. He's not really a similar player to Tyreek Hill. He's a guy you put on the outside and tell him to go deep. So that would be kind of fun with Patrick Mahomes. So you got Metcalf there. Paris Campbell, Deebo Samuel, similar type players. You put them in the slot. Very quick, very fast. I think they're 50, 60 catch guys as rookies. Andy Isabella, kind of the wild card here. I think you could get him in round 3. The UMass guy ran a sub 4.4 in the 40. So I think those are kind of some options there. You look at what the Chiefs have right now at wide receiver. Obviously, Tyreek Hill, that's the focus. Is he going to be a part of this team next year? Even if he is, there's a good chance he's going to face a suspension. Sammy Watkins, obviously, I like him, just hurt all the time. I don't think you can enter the season with him as your primary receiver. Demarcus Robinson there, I like him more as a 15 to 20 snap guy, so I think the Chiefs could go wide receiver regardless of Hill's status in this draft. My pick, Marquise Brown, especially if you feel like Tyreek Hill isn't going to be a part of this team next year. Best speed and quickness combo in this draft. Explosive is the one word to describe Marquise Brown. Home run hitter, can change the game anytime he touches the ball. I think he's the best possible replacement for Hill, not only stylistically, but just from a pure production standpoint. I think he could come in and have 1,000 yards as a rookie, have 3, 4, 5, 50-yard plus plays. Marquise Brown, explosive player in this draft. He would be my pick to replace Tyreek Hill. I'll ask you guys, though, which wide receiver would you like to see the Chiefs target in this draft, regardless of Tyreek Hill's status? Was any of those guys that I named, Marquise Brown, DK Metcalf, obviously I named Paris Campbell, Andy Isabella, and Debo Samuel. Anyone else? Hakeem Butler took a visit with the Chiefs. Who would you like to see the Chiefs target? You can comment right there in the comment section. Let's finish on a high. Patrick Mahomes continues to rack up the awards. Honored as Kansas City Sportsman of the Year by the Kansas City Downtown Sportsman Award. Look, this guy continues to rack up the awards. This is more of an off-the-field award for Patrick Mahomes. Launched his 15 in the Mahomes Foundation just a couple of weeks ago. Obviously on the field, reigning MVP and AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Look, Patrick Mahomes is living his best life right now. He was just hanging out at the Final Four, cheering on his alma mater, Texas Tech. In the stands, Travis Kelce joined him. He's a finalist for the Madden 20 cover. He's going to be at the NFL Draft. Oh, and by the way, he's on the verge of earning a record-breaking contract. So Patrick Mahomes, keep doing you, man. You know what it means to be a franchise quarterback. Let's end it right here. Will Patrick Mahomes lead the Chiefs to a Super Bowl this season? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Obviously, he's talked about it. It's Super Bowl or bust for this team. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I think the Chiefs certainly have a good chance of getting to the Super Bowl.